Hi guys, it's Mary with Stamps-N-Lingers, and it is pretty sure it's Saturday at 7 o'clock Eastern time. So we're having a Facebook Live tutorial tonight, and I appreciate you joining. So let me just double check off here to the left and be sure we're, actually going out onto the interwebs or the netterwebs or the net inter or whatever the hell, the internet. Ah, yes, I have my blurry picture there. So that means, and I see 11 people have joined, so that's good. It looks like we are actually getting out into the world. All right, so the card I'm sharing today and that I gave you the sneak peek of is this little number, and it's got a couple of little cute things on it that I like. First off, you can see I've tried the Scrappy strip method that Bruno Bertucci is kind of famous for, but I realized as I was typing up my blog post that I did this card using the Subtles DSP, which is sold out. So if you don't have it already, you're gonna have a hard time getting those things to make this. So I apologize up front for that. I just wasn't paying attention. I'm so sorry. All right, let's see who we got. Hi Trudy, hi Linda, hi Susan, Faith, appreciate you. If you've already left a comment, hi Lenny. If you've left a comment and said hello, I might have missed it. I'm sorry. Hey, Holly. Appreciate you joining. So this uses the You Always Deliver stamp set, which is really kind of a fun one for us crafters, because who doesn't like this guy, right? The UPS man, one of our favorite people ever, bringing the big boxes of joy and happiness. So this is actually for the Paper Players theme challenge this week. So I'll give you a little sneak peek. It's Make You Smile is the theme, and I know for certain sure that the UPS guy showing up makes us smile. Hey Brooke, hey Kathy, hi Kathy, second Kathy, hi Chris from North Carolina, appreciate you joining. And then the sentiment on the front is from the Share Sunshine digital download. And I can tell you, this is kind of a fun doohickey. Let me just show you this right quick. When you download this, it's $12. You don't go through my online store. I have a link on my blog. You go directly to a Shopify site, really. Hi, Karma. Hi, Nance. Appreciate you joining. You're back from South Carolina. SoCal. Hey, Kathy. But what happens when you download this is you really get a whole bunch of sentiments. The first couple of 3 pages give you the color scheme on each of the pages and the coordinating products that go with the sentiments on a particular page. And then you go into each of the sentiment pages. Now what you'll notice is, for the most part, they're identical on both columns. The sentiments are identical. On the left, you have a plain black and white theme, and on the right, you have colors. And again, on the legend, if you will, it tells you what colors coordinate with a particular group of sentiments. So there's a whole bunch of them. It actually is like 15 pages or so of sentiments. And I like a fun little pun, and I like a fun little sentiment. So for me, using one of these was just another way to go with the Make You Smile theme. So that's what we got there. Anyway, do go download that. It's for a good cause. It is giving back to 2 organizations, the National Institute of Health and the World Health Organization. And you can decide how you want your $12 to go. It's 100%. If you pay $12 goes to either or both of those organizations. All right. So that's on the front for the sentiment, and then on the inside, the You Always Deliver has the perfect complimentary sentiment, if you will, saying delivering lots of positive thoughts, and I think that's kind of really kind of useful for this time of year, right? Hey Tanya, appreciate you joining. Karma, hi. You're not getting good sound, Nance. I'm sorry. Is everybody else getting good sound? If you'd let me know. I think we should be okay, but somebody say, yes, Mary, I hear you. How about that, if you hear me? All right. Now, just so that you'll be oriented, I have actually already cut out the sentiment, and I used this. It's kind of the smallest rectangular die in the stitched rectangles dies. And then I cut out my UPS dude. Okay, we've got good sound. I'm not sure, Nance, you'll just need to see what's going on. I think it's on your computer. Okay, and then I used the next to largest oval to cut my delivery dude out. Okay, so now let me just give you fair warning. I realized as I was doing the blog post that you can't buy this paper. So I decided to not use this paper for this card. So we're going to try a different paper. I have no idea how it's going to look. I have not planned ahead because I'm a doofus. But we're going to play with it and see what we can come up with. And I decided to use one of my favorite retiring DSPs, and that is the in the tropics, the Tropical Oasis DSP. Okay, so we're going to try that. And this is the envelope that goes with this. Okay, there we go. All right, now let me put away all of these pieces of paper because I do not need them. Now, the first thing we're going to do is create our strips for the Scrappy strip technique. Now, this is a very easy thing, and the part of it that you need to understand is there's no measuring. There's a little measuring, but measuring is not the prime piece of this technique. It is really a lot of eyeballing, and so that's how we're going to go. What you want to do is you want to use, at least for this card, I'm using the same color cardstock to build my Scrappy strip card front on as my mat. Okay, so what that does is it makes it look like you have very carefully measured each of those strips, when in fact you are totally not going to do that. Okay, so there is a trick. Now you could just put this in your kit bag. You could build your Scrappy front and then cut the backing down further, and you could use a contrasting mat if you wanted. But I decided I liked how this looked, so that's completely up to you. So to cut your strips, obviously you'll need a trimmer, and I happen to be relatively partial to I need to be sure I do this on the correct piece of cardstock though. Yes, not that one. Okay. I happen to be partial to our paper trimmer, but of course, if you don't have that, you should get it at once. And what we're going to do, and these are arbitrary. I did kind of watch Bruno's video enough to see how to do it, and then I decided, okay, just wing it. You can do this. My goodness, Mary. Here's the only trick to this technique. Your very first strip needs to have a straight edge and needs to go against the edge of your cardstock. Okay? If you neglect to do that, you can probably still recover, but it makes your trim down a little more complex. So your first strip needs to be straight against the bottom of the panel. Okay? So this is all I did, and this is so crazy easy. For each one of the strips, I started by putting the top corner on the 5/8 inch mark up here, and then I put the bottom corner on the 1/4 inch mark, and then I cut a strip. Okay, and then for the next strip, I reversed that. I put the top on the 1/4 inch mark and the bottom on the 5/8 inch mark. Okay. And where did I get 5/8 of an inch and a 1/4? I just, well, you know where I got it. Now, on my card here, I was kind of going along with the Global Design Project sketch, and so it had colored stripes. So that was how I came up with the kind of ombre look. And on this one, I did 3 strips in each of the colors of brown that I had picked. Okay, we're not gonna do all of that much work on this one. We're gonna just put it however it looks good. And please remember, I have never done this before in public with this paper, so we're gonna see how it looks. Okay. Okay, so I'm just cutting a bunch of strips. This is actually the hardest part of the whole thing, is cutting the strips, and it isn't very hard. It's just, it takes a little time, yeah? Takes a little time, but that's okay. So today we did get to see the Thunderbirds and the Blue Angels. It was kind of awesome. We did go to Costco to see them because my careful examination of the flight path said it was not going to get close enough here to see it. Okay, so now I'm going to pick a different paper and just do some more strips. But it was pretty awesome. There were a lot of people there. It's the face of, I guess, air shows in 2020 in the time of COVID-19. We were all sitting in the parking lot at Costco. Some of us had masks on, some of us weren't. And it was great. They weren't there for very long. Let me tell you a little secret. When you're running at 400 or 500, well, they should have been at 250. I don't know if the Thunderbirds, I know they get dispensation from ATC in actual air shows, but I don't know whether they would have gotten it for just a flyby. So they could have been going 250. They might have gotten the dispensation and been going faster, but they were humping along pretty good. But it was kind of cool because they went by us twice. They came down the freeway they'd gone over the hospital in Fayetteville, and then they came down and went across kind of almost over the parking lot. And then they made a big left turn and went out a ways east, and then they made another turn and came back and went over to Noonan, which, if you're not familiar with the area, those city names mean nothing to you, but it did allow us to see them twice, and it was pretty cool. My only complaint, if you could ever have a complaint about a dual performance team flyby, which you really should never have a complaint about that, is that for some reason, a decision had been made at some point that only the Angels were going to pop smoke at any one time. And so you could see them a lot, and you could see them anyway because they're blue, they're in blue livery, and the Thunderbirds are all white, mostly white. And so they just disappeared like crazy. So you could really see the Blue Angels and really had to look for the Thunderbirds. And I was trying to take pictures that I could share, which I did, and I will, and I have. But my camera just did not it really could not see the Thunderbirds. So you were going to see the pictures and be like, yeah, Mary was smoking crack. She was having an out-of-body moment. There were no Thunderbirds there. They really, really were. And it was cool. And you guys, listen. There is a Facebook page. It's called DOT. It's either DOT Air Show or DOT Show. And if you go to that, you will find some really, really cool videos that they have done in the cockpit, particularly with the Blue Angels. And it's really cool. I don't know where they got those cameras to do like that or how they put them in the airplane, but it's really cool because you get a bird's eye view on how cool the pilots are. And I can tell you, just so you know, they make it look so easy. And I can tell you from experience, it is not. Now, I don't have 1,000,000 hours flying formation and like they do, but it's hard work. Okay, that's a lot of strips. We're going to pretend that's enough for a minute, and we're going to see how it goes. Alrighto. Now, here's my piece of cardstock. Now, the first part is to decide what kind of pattern you want to create. So what I was really thinking I was going to do was kind of do more neutrals and just a few of the strips of the flowers, okay? Because the flowers are kind of busy. So I thought I would just, let me see where my light blues are. There we go. There's some light blues. Here's some old olives. Okay, I know for sure we're not going to use the cars. That just doesn't work for me. But I am going to use these every once in a while. So I'm going to kind of lay these colors out and see what I like here. What do you guys think? Is this good? Will this be good color scheme? I think it might. It could be. It could be. I think I won't put the green in. That's one color too many. Too many. too many colors. I believe that would be too many colors. Yeah, so I think we're gonna go like that. We're gonna do a flower, and then I think we'll do like this, and a different flower, and then like this, and a flower, and like this, and we may end up with a flower. Sound good? Okay. Hi, Jennifer McKinley. Nice to see you. Okay, so that's going to be my order. I kind of like that. This is going to be covered like so. Yeah, I like it. And I'm going to do something different with my UPS man than I did on the first card because I can. And to be quite honest, this is my week of mourning my Hawaii trip this year. We aren't going to get to go this year. We're going to go next year. Thank you, COVID freaking 19, you booger. Thank you, whoever sent it here. Not saying who, not naming any names, but I'm just saying. Okay, so look how hard this is. This is so freaking hard. Okay, here we go. You take your glue and you run it on the cardstock like that. And then you take your first piece, and what did I tell you about the first piece? A straight edge against the bottom of the panel. That is really about the only hard and fast rule. Okay, like so. And then you take the next bit and put some glue. And then you put your paper. Now look, I could have also kept that big angle going there. Let's try that. What the heck? That's what's so fun about this technique, is that you can really play with it, and nobody can tell you you've done it wrong, because that is not a thing with this technique. It's just not a thing. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn that one this way so that I straighten it up just a little bit. Otherwise, I'm afraid I'd be like, you know, doing a pinwheel, which you actually could if you think it through a little bit. And you just want to use a little bit of judgment and kind of eyeball that gap, okay? There's no set amount. It's like doing shiplap, but you don't have to get a penny or a quarter or whatever it is that they use. Just kind of eyeball it. You kind of want your glue all the way to the ends, because again, you're going to cut this. Oh, did I not say you were going to cut this? Yeah, I probably did say that. You're going to cut this at the end, and if you don't have glue all the way, you'll have to go and do a little fixing, which is also fine. So do I want that? I think I want to do this and get a little angle back. Okay. Yeah, this is a fun technique. Now, you guys, if you're making comments and asking questions and I don't answer, it's because I'm really looking down here like this. Yeah. It is a bummer. But we're going to go next year, and we've got really all of our reservations changed. So it'll be good. It'll all be good. It's all going to be fine. But for those of you who are, you know, demonstrators, let me tell you another little something. Not only are we doing this year's trip in Maui next year, they have made the decision to keep us off cruise ships for a little while. So the 2021 incentive trip, which there is still time to earn, people, Rosie, there are still time to earn, is also a Maui trip. So the trip next year, the 2021 incentive trip, instead of being a cruise in the Eastern Caribbean, is going to be a land-based Maui trip. So if you have Hawaii on your bucket list, then you need to start working it up. There is still time to make it, I am pretty certain. So you need to be trying. If you want to go to Hawaii, this is a great opportunity. And if you're on my team, get in touch with me, and I will help you figure out what we need to do to get you there. All right? And if you're not on my team and you're not a demonstrator, but you'd like to be on my team, I can help you with that too. Because, oh, by the way, the new catalog is coming soon. And if you join on or after the 5th of May, you can fill your starter kit with new products. Just throwing it out there. New products. How am I going to do that? I'm gonna do like this. I'm gonna actually go like that, and then I'm gonna get another little tiny piece up there. Okay. Remember, this is gonna cut off, but I don't know exactly how I'm gonna cut it yet, so it's okay. We'll make this be perfectly perfect. And I'm gonna get one more little piece, a little piece of blue up here. I suppose technically that is pool party, not bleu. All right, and we're gonna put that like that. Okay, so the next only trick is, you know, you gotta wait until the glue is enough dry that you can put it in your trimmer and not wiggle stuff around. So I'm gonna set that aside for just a second. And while we are waiting, I'm going to stamp my UPS delivery man. I've arbitrarily decided he's a UPS delivery man. I suppose he could be FedEx, but FedEx is on my bad boy list right now, so he doesn't get to be on my card. Okay, so I'm just gonna stamp him in the middle of that stitch shape oval that I did. Hey, Mary. Yes, sure. I'll be happy to do that. Let me jump right on that. In fact, I'm going to take a break and run and do that. No, I hope you make it, Mary, and come with us. That would be so fun. Okay, now let me tell you what I came up with. I had this idea. In my mind, if I was a UPS driver in Hawaii, I would not wear a brown shirt. No, I would wear a Hawaiian shirt. So I'm going to see if I can do some paper piecing and give him a Hawaiian shirt, okay? I'm going to hurry up him. We're going to hurry dry him. This is called hurry drying. Hurry drying, hurry drying, hurry drying. I'm sorry, Jennifer, but a Maryland or Delaware beach is not the same as a Hawaii beach. It just isn't. It just isn't. It just isn't. All right, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt a feat never seen before on live TV. I'm going to attempt to cut out the shirt of the UPS man without any of his other parts. Can she do it? May I have silence in the gallery, please? First, we're going to cut his head, like so. Decapitation is typically the first step of any good paper piecing involving a shirt. And then we're going to cut the shirt out. The tricky part about this, because I did do a fast dry run, the tricky part about this is that strap. You've got to get that strap out. And so it helps if you have your base picture here, like this, so that you can remember that these are pants and this is shirt. So we'll cut that out, because when I did the initial one, that's why this is so scary. When I did the initial one, I kind of overcut. Okay, so now I'm just gonna cut off his arms, like so. Okay, so now you can see where we're at. Where did my Twizzlers go? Where did my Twizzlers? Pensacola Beach is not the same as Hawaii. It just isn't. Again, I'm sorry, but it isn't. Okay, so now I have his shirt cut out, and that is fine, but I don't want that strap in there because his strap doesn't look like that. I'm sorry. So I'm going to cut this out. Amy, just look away. I know this is making you nauseated, but it's okay. So I'm going to cut that strap out because it's going to be worth it. He's going to be the coolest of cools. He's going to be so cool. Now look, I'm going to cut here. And I got to save that piece because that's part of his shirt. Save this piece because that's part of his shirt, like that. Okay. And then I'm going to cut out his little belly, right there. Actually, I'm cutting out his arm, but it's going to free up his belly. Okay. And does this look just terribly difficult? I can assure you it's not. It's just a little time consuming, but I thought it would be worth it. I figured this would be my penance for showing you something you couldn't have on the first go. That is just the rudest thing to do for a demonstrator. I mean, seriously. Come on, Robbie. You know you can do this. You can do it. Don't let Amy influence you in a bad way. She's a good influence except for when she isn't. I would just like to point out she was the originator of the half-dimensional cult that we have going here now. Just saying, okay? I am just saying. Okay. Now, there we go. Oh, he's so cute. Him is so cute. Let's see if I've got a full shirt now. That's what I need to know is, do I have a full shirt? I do have a full shirt. I believe I have a full shirt. Oh, yes. So worth it. Okay, so I have the full shirt. I'm going to try to save the full shirt. And I'm going to quick color the rest of him with some blends, okay? Yes, there you go. Non-fussy cutters unite. You just go do your thing. Okay, so I'm going to use my ivory. Actually, you know what? Nah, I'm going to use the ivory. Just the ivory? Make sure it's just the ivory. Yeah, to make him have some arms. And this is apparently a new guy in Hawaii. He has not gotten terribly suntanned yet, so he's a new guy. And I'm just coloring him in. And you know what? I'm not getting real het up about his lip there. His lip is just the same color as his face. That's just how it's rolling. And I'll put a little bit of shadowing in here, a little bit, but not much. I'm really not getting too het up about shadowing him. All right. And then I decided early on that he was going to have, he's kind of blonde. And in this case, he's a crushed curry blonde. There we go. Okay. Now, in a nod to his profession, he's going to wear soft suede pants. And I'm just using the light and the dark blends for his pants. And I don't want to color his strap there because I'm going to make it crumb cake. And I'm also making the stripe on his pants crumb cake. See, this guy is kind of a rebel, but at least his pants sort of coordinate with his Hawaiian shirt, right? I mean, you know, he's not that big a rebel. Hello. He's wearing brown pants, just saying. And I think his hat should be brown too, because that's how you know it's him when he's coming up the walk. You see his hat. Have any of you ever seen a UPS dude with an actual hat, though? I mean, I haven't. And in truth, they'd be wearing shorts, right? Need a mustache, maybe a beard. He has a mustache. No beards. That's in the dress code. Hello? No beards. Okay. Now I'm going to take my crumb cake and I'm going to color his pinstripe. And I think he's going to be wearing crumb cake shoes. I've decided that. And his messenger bag is absolutely crumb cake. Because, you know, it's light leather. He hasn't oiled it yet. And there we go. We'll do that. And then we're going to do a little bit of dark crumb cake. South Dakota pants and hats. Really? They do wear all of them and they wear their hats? Well, in full disclosure, my gate is 1/3 of a mile away, so it's very rare that I actually get to see the UPS guy drive up. Usually I get a text message that says, your stuff is at the gate, left in a secure place. Have they got that thing at your house yet where they show a picture of where they dropped it? It's kind of cool. I like that. They always put it right behind the garbage can so I can recognize that it's actually at my house, and that's kind of cool. Okay, so there's that. And then let's give him his shirt. Oh, I'm so excited about this shirt. I just really can't tell you how excited about this shirt I am. I'm very happy because I really kind of borked it in my quick dry run ahead of time. Because I'm going to tell you, going to Costco and Sam's and the air show put me a little behind today. I woke up ahead and then I was behind. All of a sudden I was behind. First I was ahead. I was mystified, truly mystified to be ahead. Okay, and then here's the other little piece of his shirt with his collar. And we're gonna stick that right there. Oh, yes! I love it! Ha! That's parfait! I love it. Okay, now look, I'm gonna take my journaling pen. They don't ring the doorbell anymore. See, we don't even have a doorbell at the gate, obviously. So, and I'm just coloring in some of the lines to be sure that I got everything where it was supposed to be. Now, are you going to paper piece this every time you make it? No, but it's fun to do occasionally, especially when you're channeling Hawaii and you want to pull out Hawaii. Okay, there we go. All right. Woohoo! And of course, I already have my sentiment cut out, but what I am going to do, because I know I want it, is I'm going to make a little heart, one little heart right here with my Calypso Coral Stamp and Blend, which is the color that coordinates here. Okay, so that is done, and I'm going to set him aside, and we're going to trim our Scrappy Strip front. Our Scrappy Strip front. Say that 5 times fast. Hell, say that once fast. I think you should make this card with the Hawaiian shirt for all your team members. Yeah. Does Finn know when? No. There's a gate. It's 1/3 of a mile away. He can't see it. Now, if somebody, like when the pest control guy comes, we open the gate and he drives up, and Finn is almost invariably laying in the kitchen because it's usually in the morning and we're still in there getting ready for the day. And the guy comes walking around the back of the house checking the termite traps. Finn goes whack-a-doo. Okay, so my first cut here is I'm just going to cut off the first edge of, remember I have to cut this down yet. It's not the size I want, but I'm just going to kind of give myself a little head start here. Now, I will say the name Scrappy Strip kind of leads you to believe, I think, that this is a pull out all of your little tiny scraps and use them however they come. But you saw I was actually measuring, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, and we're going to cut this down to a regular card front size, which is 5 1/8. And I'm going to start at the top and come down. And if that doesn't work, I'm going to go right back up. 5 1/8. And get it all cut off. That little piece right there was just going to be persnickety, wasn't it? That's okay. We can fix him. We will fix him. I'm going to show you a trick here in about 2 seconds because I'm not liking how that's going, so I'm going to change up the dimensions of my card in about 2 seconds. So what I'm going to do, let me make sure I've got enough space to do that. What I want to do, I want to cut this down to a 5-inch card front. Yeah. And that is going to take off that little extra doohickey strip, which means then I'm going to go 3 3/4 inch and have a slightly smaller mat as well. Does that all make sense? I hope so, because that's what's going to happen. Okay, so my card front for this card is going to be 3 3/4 by 5 1/8, and I want to be sure to cut off this piece. Or no, by 5, sorry. And then my mat will be 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Okay, so it's a little smaller. And really, that's no big at all. I make card fronts that size all the time. It gives you just a little more glimpse of your card base. So easy peasy. All right, so there's that. There's our card front. Let's set that aside. And we'll go ahead and use a little liquid glue to adhere that on there, like this. Amazing how many scraps. That's correct. That is correct. It is a great way to use up extra pieces of DSP. Because, you know, really you can do any kind of color scheme that you like. Really. All right, so let's go ahead and adhere that like so. Ooh, I kind of like how this is looking, don't you? I like it. I like it. I kind of like it. Okay, let's put, get away. Let's put this up. Now we're going to make us, out of this 3/16 braided linen trim, which is carrying over, by the way, we're going to make a big old figure 8 loop. Okay. Come here. So I've made 2 loops, and I'm just cutting it off there. And then I'm going to just pull it like so. Kind of twist it like that, okay? And hold it with your tweezers. Okay. And a smaller piece. And tie it up. Okay. And we'll just pull it apart. And then we're gonna adhere it like so. And my Hawaiian delivery man is going to be like that. And my sentiment is going to be like that. Okay? Now, what I did, because it's easier on me, is I adhered my sentiment to my oval before I did all of my dimensionalizing. And I got a trick for dimensionalizing over that trim. And you're going to want to do it because if you don't, you're going to be trying to stick a second layer of dimensionals underneath. Now look, here's a trick. Put your little doogah right side up like that, and then line your sentiment up on a grid line. And then it'll be straight when you put it on your card. Okay. Now, before I get too far, I'm going to stamp the little heart peoples. I'm going to put the little heart in Calypso Coral right there. Like that. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and, before I get discombobulated, we're going to put the little bow on with a glue dot, which, yes, was not sitting on my table. It was over by my photo booth. Okay, so we're going to put him right about there with a glue dot. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to dry fit this dude over it. Like so. And what I did is I took my little black dimensionals and I made double stacks because that ribbon is kind of thick. So in order to keep the sentiment and the artwork about the same height, I made double stacks of my dimensional halves. Okay. And then I'm going to put it on the card front like that. Okay, and that will help you when you are adhering over the top of a bow that's got some thickness to it, right? And we're going to put one right here. Except it's sticking to me. It is sticking to me. I don't know why I took that cover off, so I'm going to stick it back on because that is going to be very annoying as I'm dry fitting. Don't be like me. Leave that top dimensional cover on for a minute. Just doing what I'm telling you. Just do the thing I tell you, not the thing I do. Do the thing I tell you, not the thing I do. That is how that works. Okay. So obviously there's two ways to make double stacks. You can make them ahead of time or you can make them on. Look what I just did. I just did it again. What a dork. Goodness. Apparently seeing the airplanes made me crazy today. Okay, and I'm going to put one more stack over there. You do want to support it because it gets really weird looking if it doesn't. That's right. It's double stacked and yet it's still singles. Think about that. Yes, if you take two halves and double it up, it's still just one. So yeah, I'm not really helping. What am I doing here? Something is not going right. I think that's still loose. It's not still loose. It's fine. Quit now. Quit now. There we go. All right, let's see. I think I need one right there. Trust me, the time it takes to figure out where to put these and get them doubled up is worth it. Just telling you that right up front. Because if you do like I did on my first one, I thought I could get away with singles, and I can't. I couldn't. No. Needed doubles. And so I had to go back and very carefully with my tweezers try to stick doubled up dimensionals underneath my sentiment. And it's not easy. I'm just telling you that right now. Just telling you that right now. It's a lot easier to just do it right the first time. All right, before I get this all down, I'm going to spread those loops out like that. That's one nice thing about those dimensionals on there like that, is you can kind of get, you know, busy with your loops. Okay, now that is going to be good. I like it. Yes, it is making it hard to put on straight because it looks like it's crooked if it's straight. Ah! So I could get all serious about my grid paper, but I'm afraid I might have a nervous breakdown if I did that. But let's try that. Okay, so I'm just lining up the top with the top of my grid paper. And then I'm going to stick this on here and roughly make it go with that grid paper. There we go. The cool thing is now is if anybody goes, oh, your sentiment is crooked, I'll be like, it's just those strips making it look like it's crooked. It's all in how it looks. Okay, now look and see what you get when you put this on a Calypso Coral card front with the slightly smaller sizing. Yeah, I like that a lot. I love how they told me that this was Calypso Coral and Bermuda Bay, but it still worked with all of these colors. It's like, and then his Hawaiian shirt. Oh my goodness, I have to have a moment of silence. It's so cool. Okay, all right, now, for the inside, I decided, I thought it would be a good idea to switch to Very Vanilla, and then I decided I didn't want to, so I'm going with Whisper White. Let me see if I've got this correct. Because after I decided to switch to Very Vanilla, I realized I had my sentiments were Whisper White. Okay, so that is 3 3/4. That's perfect, and this is going to be 5. And these are, my original was black, a black matte and card front, but these are early espresso to kind of go with the paper. Okay, now let's go ahead and put our sentiment on here. And this is the sentiment again from You Always Deliver. Now I have no excuses for this being crooked, so I'm going to try to make it straight-ish. Straight-ish. There we go. And we're going to be careful. Remember, tuxedo black takes a hot second to dry. Okay? Just throwing that out there. So let's go ahead and put his helpful UPS dog down here. Because UPS dogs... Have you seen that? There's like a whole video of UPS guys and seeing all their dogs that are on their route, which I think is kind of funny because they're like the ultimate postman who should not be very happy with dogs in general, but they seem to really enjoy their dog friends. All right, and I'm just going to put him on the front of my card, or envelope. That's an envelope, Mary. That is envelope right there, not a card. Okay. And then we're gonna pull this back and give it some heartses. Don't know why that keeps doing that. All right, Kathy, what are you doing? Just kidding. I don't even know. I must have missed some hugely funny thing. Okay, Calypso Coral hearts. Calypso Coral hearts. Calypso Coral hearts. And we can put the Calypso Coral away. See, if you put the Calypso Coral away, that is saying, I feel confident in my ability to finish this card without borking it, which is like saying to the gods of cards, please make me smear something. Make me screw this up. Yeah, do look it up. I bet you could search UPS drivers and dogs on YouTube. Okay, so this dog is a UPS dog, and so he is crumb cake, and I'm using the dark crumb cake right now, and I'm just going to color him. Again, I'm not going to get really excited about making him have shadows and stuff. To me, he really looks like a cartoon dog, and so he's going to be colored like a cartoon dog, which is pretty simple. Okay? Pretty simple dog like that. Look at me doing it with the brush tip in those little spaces. Okay. And we'll give him a little bit of shading because, you know, you got to. And on my envelope, remember, don't push down real hard if you're not going to take the time to put an acetate or something in there like I'm not doing right now. And then you want to not push down hard. You just want to lightly put the color on. Let the brush tip do the work. You don't have to scrub it in there, I promise. I know you're all going, Mary, you could just color over the spots because you're going to put a different color in there and it's going to be dark. But you don't know what color I'm putting, so don't judge me. Don't judge. I know you're judging. You're probably judging right now. I feel the judgment. I think Amy's judging. Amy, are you judging? You're judging. Okay, now I have my soft suede, and he's going to have soft suede spots. That's what they call him back at the UPS shop. Hey, soft suede spot. That's what they call him. Soft suede spot. Hey, soft suede spot. And it's hard to say. It's really not easy to say, soft suede spot. So they shorten it to spot because that's so much easier. Okay. And there is our little dog. And your little dog too. Okay. Wow. That was random right there. That was so random. I might have been out in the sun too long today. Let's go with that. 10 minutes. That was a long time. We bought some new lavender plants. I have 2 new lavender plants from Costco. I've gotten a lot of plants from Costco and Sam's this year. It's amazing how many good things they've... That's not the right size at all. That's not right. Fix that, Mary. Fix it. Do some measuring. Maybe I should measure. Think I should measure something? Something ain't fitting. Okay, 3 3/4. By 5. Yeah, there's the problem. No, that's right. Okay, so now this needs to be 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Okay, and it is so not. No, it is not. So I'm going to set that aside, and I'm not going to bogger up my paper trimmer because I've already put glue on there. So we're going to get another piece of early espresso, and we're going to cut it to the correct size because here's a tip. This is my tip, okay? This is huge. Are you getting ready to write it down? The correct size cardstock makes a lot of difference on your card. I'm just saying. Okay, so 3 7/8 by 5 1/8 is correct in theory. So let's see if I was right. Was I right? I was right. Whew. What a relief it is. Oh, what a relief it is. Okay. Wow. You guys, I'm sorry. I'm not drunk, I promise. Mary, it's interesting. They have them in the back usually, like you can buy cheese, meat, and flowers all in the same place. And they have bulbs and all sorts of stuff. And Sam's has also been really good about having them this year. We bought I bought my raspberries there at Sam's and blueberries and a rose that is, I think I'm fixing to have like 3 blooms, which is huge since I've never had even 1 bloom. So, you know, that's kind of huge for me. A bloom, any bloom is a big bloom in Mary's world on a rose. So 3 blooms is huge. And they're pretty. I bought them because I bought that particular one. I don't know what its name is. I bought it because it said it was really fragrant. The others had big blossoms or something like that, but this one was really fragrant, and I wanted to be able to smell it because in Mary's world, there's nothing more disappointing than a rose that doesn't smell good. It's just, that's like bait and switch, and I think it's not very nice. Whoever made the roses that don't smell like roses is just mean. But the lavenders are cool. They've been pruned into little trees, which means they won't be like little trees for any length of time because I probably won't prune them. But they'll be pretty. We've got some pots to put them in on our porch by the barn where everything else is. And Amy, ready for this excitement? I know you're gonna be, just try to contain yourself. It's very close to greens and turnip harvesting time. I know you're so excited. All right, and we'll finish off our envelope here. Yeah, exactly. Anything that survives. I am mystified that I have plants that are surviving. I'm so proud. I'm like this little proud parent because everything except 6 lettuce plants that I did buy at the hardware store because I wanted them right now. Everything else I've grown from seed, so I'm very happy with how things have gone this year. My beans are growing up the poles, and I've got another set of lettuce ready to transplant, and it's just like, it's like the freaking Victory Garden back there. That was such a good show on NPR. I loved that show. I loved that show. All right, here we go. So, 2 cards. The card that you'll see tomorrow on the blog is actually this one. So, same technique, same exact stamp set or digital download, but I think they look a little different. Which one do you like better? I'm a little partial to the Hawaiian guy, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's the shirt. I'm liking the shirt a lot. So anyway, you always deliver right away because it's retiring. It is guaranteed through the end of the catalog period, which is the end of, right at the beginning of June. But you want to get that right now. The tropical DSP is going away and it is not guaranteed. When it runs out, it is gone and it is too pretty to miss out. And finally, go ahead and get you that Share Sunshine. It's for a good cause. $12 is nothing. You download it. You can print it right away. And I can tell you now, let me just tell you this before I go because it's been really too long. I'm so sorry. This is actual Whisper White cardstock. And I put it in the paper tray of my printer because my printer doesn't have that place where you can open it and feed paper to print onto. So it has to come out of the tray, and I really truly wasn't sure that it would, but it did. Now, I don't think that if I decided I wanted to print it on Calypso Coral, I'm not sure it would be the same, because you know our Whisper White is very, very smooth, and so I think that's part of why it was able to do that. But that is the concept, is that you download the PDF, and then you either print or copy onto cardstock, and then you cut it with a punch or with one of our dies, and then you've got your sentiments made lickety splittily. And you can see that each, really all you do is you're going to get a 8.5 by 11, right? You can just cut it right down the middle at 4 1/4, and you can run these right through the Big Shot, or you can use a stamp on it or a punch on it. And again, the legend tells you which dies and punches match on the pages. All right? Okay, guys, I appreciate it. It was a long afternoon. I'm so sorry for the length of the video, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will try the Scrappy Strip technique soon. And piece you a Hawaiian shirt, because why not? All right, we'll see you next time. I'll be back on Thursday at 1 on my YouTube channel. See ya. Bye.